there, my name is Wes Walton with Rob, and today I'm going to show you how to install and run expert advisors, which are trade automators. With expert advisors, you don't have to place the trades yourself. They will place the trades for you and examine the market conditions for the specific trades that they take. Specifically, we're going to be going over the Jerome Plus Trade Expert Advisor and the Diamondback Trade Expert Advisor. So we're going to jump right into it. Putting an Expert Advisor on your MetaTrader platform is pretty much exactly the same as putting an indicator on your platform. So we are going to go to your computer, to the local disk C, and to your program files, and then to your specific MetaTrader platform, then to experts, and here's where you find them. Once you have them downloaded, you just simply drag and drop them into the experts folder. So easy enough, right? And then once you've done that, you should have your MetaTrader platform closed at the time, and then you can reopen it and they'll appear over there on the side. It is specifically this navigator window right here that you'll need open. And to do that, you can just click this button here that has a little folder and a star right up here at the top. Okay, I've already set up my charts the way that I would like to have them, or the way that I need to have them actually. Specifically, you will need the FX5 MACD divergence indicator on your chart. You do not need to have the Heiken Ashi smooth candles indicator on your chart in order to do this, or in order to run the Expert Advisor, but you do need the FX5 MACD divergence one. So I'm going to switch back to candles, so you can see my candles on my screen. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the specific Expert Advisors that we have. First, we're going to start with the Diamondback Expert Advisor. For the Diamondback Expert Advisor, just set the FX5 MACD divergence at its default settings, which is 12, 26, 9, and then you take it, drag it onto the screen. Now, there's a whole bunch of properties here which we're going to go over fairly quickly. First, lots, which is your trade size. You can change that to whatever you would like to have it. 1.0 is probably not the best, but you can go over, Rob will be going over trade sizes and everything like that in webinars, so I won't go over that here. Slippage is the amount that the market can move after the trade has tried to place. Occasionally the market's going to be moving so fast that it will try to place the trade at one price, but then it will move a certain amount of pips in a different direction, or whatever, and then this is the amount of pips that you'll allow it to move before it will not place a trade. So it'll move 5 pips in either direction, and it will still place a trade, but any more than that it will not. Fixed stops for this particular trading system. Fixed stops is not the default stop loss for the Diamondback. The default stop loss for the Diamondback is actually the line that was used to draw it. So this would be, the red lines are for sell trades, so this would be the stop loss here if this had set up a sell trade. So if you put fixed stops to true, then you can set your own stop loss. It will not use this line. It will use whatever you put in there. Recent stops you can use instead of fixed stops. And what that does is it goes back a certain number of candles to find a high or low to use as the stop loss. Here, it would go back a certain number of candles, but it wouldn't find anything. And that being the case, you will want to actually have something as your fixed stop. So every time that you run this Expert Advisor, you will want to put in a fixed stop, a stop loss that you wouldn't mind having. Because if you have even if you have the line here as your stop loss, sometimes it's too close to the market price, and it will have to revert to the fixed stop. So always set your fixed stop, and along with that, always set your fixed profit. Even if you're not using fixed profit targets, always set your fixed profit. Break even, that's the number of pips it will go profit before it moves your stop to break even. All of these are just default settings. They're not the settings that are specifically used for the Diamondback trade. They're just default settings that I used when I programmed it. So you can set these to whatever it is that your heart desires, I suppose. Candles for profit is how many candles back it looks for the fixed, or not for the fixed, but for the recent profits and the recent stop losses. So for 50, it will look 50 candles back for your profit target or for your stop loss if you used recent stops. The default profit target for the Diamondback trade is recent profit targets. That's why it's not in here as a true false. If you do fixed profits, then it will not look for a recent profit target, and then you can set your fixed profit here. Alright, the plus is for a different version of the Diamondback, where it uses the stochastic oscillator to determine whether or not to place trades. Usually this will just be set to false, but if you want to try it out, that's fine. The plus stock is how many candles it will look back to determine if the stochastic has moved to a certain price. So in this case, it will look 5 candles back, and if the stochastic was at that certain price, 5 candles back, then it will place the trade. Alright, screenshots is always set to true. You can set it to false if you'd like, but what it does is it will take a screenshot of the trade itself and then write the information on the screen. I'll show you how that looks in a moment. So that's all for the Diamondback trade. Something to remember always with expert advisors is that there are a couple of settings you will need to have checked before the expert advisors will actually go. So we're going to go up to Tools and go down to Options, go to Expert Advisors, and make sure that Enable Expert Advisors is checked and Allow Live Trading is checked. That's all you need to do to make sure that they will run. Alright, now we're going to go over to the Jerome Plus trade. For this one, your FX5 MACD divergence should be set to 30, 65, 23. Rob went over all of that when he went over the Jerome Plus trade. So, for more information on how these things are actually traded, refer to the Diamondback and Jerome Plus trade webinars, and they will give you more information about how they are actually traded. So, we're going to add the Jerome Plus trade to the chart, and again, you got lots and slippage. Then you can go to where it says Recent Stops. Usually, this is going to be set to true starting out. But if you would prefer to have a fixed stop, then that's fine. You can change that here. The Jerome Plus trade, the default stop loss is always the recent stop. But in the event that your recent stop is too close to the market price, it will revert to the fixed stop. So always set your fixed stop on the Jerome Plus and Diamondback expert advisors. Break even is the same as it was on the Diamondback. Fixed profits, the default profit target is also a recent high or low, which both of those are determined by the candles for profit. So you can set that to however far back you would like it to look. And again, always set your fixed profit as well to make sure that if it needs to revert to it, then it will have a proper profit target. Okay, screenshots again is set to true, but you can set it to false if you'd like. And we'll move right into how to backtest these trading systems. Once you have it on your screen, you can simply right click on the screen and go to Expert Advisors and then to Strategy Tester. As you can see, I've already tested these out a little bit on here. And a quick note, if you have not done so already, you will need to download historical data. To do that, simply go to Tools, History Center, then select your currency pair that you want to try out. We'll say the Euro-US dollar, and then double click on it and select a time frame that you would like to download. Usually I do something like 5 minutes because it can be converted into most of these other time frames as well. And then you just click download. And it could take quite a bit of time to actually download the historical data, so be ready to settle in for a few minutes. Okay, now for the testing part. There's a few things that you should note. One is that you can use open prices only on these trading systems. It only actually looks for trades once per candle. However, for the move stop to break even, it won't function all that well. It will function just fine, but it'll be looking at open prices for the move stop to break even. So occasionally there might be one that would have moved to break even or may not have moved to break even, depending on how the candle is set up. So I always use open prices only because it hardly ever happens that it doesn't do it correctly. But if you want, then you can go with every tick. It takes a while to actually get all of the data loaded, and along with that, it takes a while for it to actually go through. If you do like a couple of years on your test, then it will actually take quite a while for it to go through every tick. So we're going to select open prices only. Along with that, you need to be in visual mode. Visual mode will show you the chart as the trades are progressing. You need to do that because the trades are placed based on the lines drawn by this indicator here, the FX5 MACD divergence. So it needs to be in visual mode because it has to be able to see the lines that are drawn. When you set it to visual mode, when you first start out, you'll want to drag this bar all the way to the beginning. Otherwise, it's going to start out and just take off really fast, and you don't want it to do that. Then you also want to use date, and you'll want to set a date that you would like to use. I'm just going to use February 1st, 2012 to March 1st, 2012. That way it'll get loaded kind of quickly. Okay, set your period here. And expert properties. You will always want to look at expert properties to make sure that it is the correct properties that you want. So they're usually saved in here by the last time that you had used it. So you want to make sure that if you're changing properties that you change them here. And just press OK. Other than that, that's really all that you need to know for that. So we're going to go ahead and start the test. As you can see, it did not just take off. So I'm going to apply a template that I have previously made to the chart. And for this, it is the Jerome Plus. So I have already set up a template for Jerome. And there's my template on screen. I'm also going to add the candles. Okay. Then I'm going to move this bar up here to 31. The reason why I don't move to 32 is because when you put it on 32, the market moves too fast for the trades to be placed correctly. So make sure you just put it on 31. Don't put it on 32. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start this up. So there it goes, along there. And there's a trade that was placed. So I'm going to move this back over to here. It's down here. Alright. These letters are kind of big because we use them for something else, specifically. So I'm going to move this up just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay. So this is where it prints it all on the screen. Sell euro, US dollar, price, blah, 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 stop, target, everything like that. In testing mode, this isn't necessarily important information to know on your screen. So if you wanted to, you could turn the screenshots off, and it won't do this. It's helpful when it's on the screen here, especially since you can minimize a lot of this stuff down here at the bottom to make sure that all of the letters can be printed on there. Okay, anytime during it you can pause the market just by pressing this button here where it says pause. Do not press stop. If you press stop, it will stop the test and you cannot just resume where you left off. You will have to restart the entire test and do it all over again. So unless you need to fix one of the properties, or unless you need to just test something completely different, don't press stop. And that's basically it. That's all you need to know about expert advisors. If you have any further questions, just let us know at rob@robbooker.com, and we can certainly help you out. Have a great day.